you always want to start off strong, when you're
with a well-prepared joke.
With a well-prepared joke
typed into my cell phone 30 hours ago.
I'm just saying, hey. I mean, not a joke. This is.
Why don't you just go to your Facebook page and the other 2 jokes?
Hey, Adam. Oh,
okay, sorry.
A lot of people misjudge me, man, and I'm getting sick of it. People assume, and just because of the way I look, that I have daddy issues. But you know what?
Right.
It's not true. My dad and I have great sex. We have a great sex life, man.
You know, incest always gets me. My favorite is wincest.
Wincest. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 0240. Brand new season of The Skinny with Mike and Adam. Man, we're getting very close to 250. I think we really need to seriously start
What's
preparing.
to do? Well, we've run out of shtick.
Oh, man.
Run out of things to be excited about, things
I've been wanting
to bring in viewers, listeners.
What I've been wanting to do for 240 weeks now
is somebody else's top 100 list.
Oh. Yes, but we're going to do that next week. But
that is going to be fun.
I've been wanting to answer like fan messages or fan questions.
We asked
Maybe
for...
we should do that.
We asked for fan questions way back, episodes 1 through 6,
yes.
7, 8. When
we
talked about
listeners now.
We talked about hate crimes, and we talked about
get those hate crimes.
We talked about politics.
Uh-huh.
We talked about discrimination against gay people.
But now we're talking about what's important.
Nothing.
Buses catching on fire.
Yes.
An
Billboard,
album not making the top 200
Billboard
in its first
charts.
week.
The Billboard charts are the only thing
Absolutely.
that anybody cares about.
But you know what? I think that's something we should shoot for. From now until episode 250, you can send us your questions. Almost no question will go. Send us all of your questions. We'll answer almost all of them. I'm not going to give out our social security numbers or anything like that.
See, I might.
If
somebody asks me, I just might give it away because I have such little faith in this podcast.
Okay.
And anybody giving a shit. Like, I could give out my social security number and not have my identity stolen.
You know that you'll be just
fine.
I'll be just You'll need to call
fine.
Your bank. Nothing.
If I posted it on YouTube, I know nobody would look at it because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, if you guys watch the documentary that Adam made, you'll see subtle hints of what all of his personal information, his address, his social security, his credit card number.
Right. My child's social security number.
Just go for it, guys.
I mean, my credit card number is all over that thing. I don't know why anybody isn't buying anything.
It's up to you guys to actually seek it out.
Right.
But
and if you didn't know, by the end of it,
there's
a website you can go to get a free blowjob.
Really?
Free of charge.
The Skinny with Mike and Adam.blogspot.com?
Totally clean women and men who will not give you gonorrhea.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
Of the mouth.
That's a bold claim.
But nobody would know that because they didn't even try.
Oh yeah, of course, not yet. But
we paid it forward for you, and you guys did not even try.
You guys don't appreciate what we do for you. But I think that might be cool if you guys maybe want to send us some messages over on Facebook.com/Skinny with Mike and Adam, or you can even email them to us if you want to be anonymous. If you want, at the Skinny with Mike and Adam at gmail.com. That'd be cool. Get into contact with us if you have any questions, whether it's music related, abortion related. Like, should I get this abortion? Like, we'll make that decision for you.
We will, because it is our call.
It is as men.
We're
your betters.
We're very pro-choice.
Oh yeah, very much.
So we want to choose for you.
Yeah. You don't have a choice in the matter. We have a choice in the matter.
We are Republican congressmen.
Exactly.
Who know how the women's body works.
Women should register themselves as businesses so Republicans can actually see them as people.
Exactly.
For once.
And steal money from them. Wait.
That might be something cool. So we'll maybe make another post so you can follow us on Facebook.
Because I have a feeling over the course of 200 and something thousand episodes, we've discussed everything about ourselves.
Well, not everyone has listened to all 240 episodes, so we might.
I guess that's true.
We have to follow the Stan Lee method that every episode might be somebody's first episode.
We have to.
Yes.
Okay.
So says our Lord and Savior Stan Lee.
Got it. So I'll do that then.
Okay.
And
so help us make a good episode 250, everybody. And also, while you're on the internet, and I know you have the internet because you're listening to this, you can go check out our friend if you want some more podcast goodness, Rick Wellbanks and his show, Shit Rick Says.
The Manly Man Hour of Manly Men from Canada.
They talk about such things like
shooting
crossbows.
Shooting bows and arrows to kill animals.
Whether or not to kill animals.
Being open to gay people, but hating gay people that happen to be parading.
Yes. Snipers.
Krav Maga.
The Prime Minister of Canada.
Who they don't like.
Yes.
Because he's too liberal.
He's too liberal.
Too liberal for you.
Libtard. But it is a very entertaining show, and at the very least, you'll get a really interesting perspective. But of course,
there's their new name though, the Manly Man Hour.
Oh, I love it.
Of manly men in Canada, featuring Canadian men
with Rick Wellbanks
and beards,
yes,
and cigarettes.
With manly men like Rick, but also Cody's there.
Cody is a manly man.
Oh, okay.
Who probably has a beard as well.
Maybe I don't think I've ever seen a picture of Rick of Cody.
Right, and that's what they need to change their name to.
Yeah,
the Manly Man Hour featuring manly Canadian men.
Yes, make it happen.
But with no alcohol.
Oh, of course. It's dry hour here. What else do we got? Okay, so today we're going to be. This is going to be our mid-year review. We are literally like halfway through the year.
I know.
So we have to. I guess it might be fun to go back and see if any of our opinions have changed of all the albums that we've reviewed, because we've already reviewed a bunch of albums this year. I think a majority of our episodes have been album reviews.
Well, we haven't. At least me. I haven't listened to very many albums this year.
Okay. Well, I've got a whole list of everything I've listened to. Of course, you listened to those albums as well.
I did.
A majority of them, I'm sure. So we'll go through them. It's just surprisingly when I was going over them yesterday, it's a large amount already. So then we can also do. We can also go over our betting special and where we are at with that so far.
Yes, because today is the exact middle of the baseball season.
Yeah.
And the Cubs are exactly 500. So Mike might still win.
I might
for
still
that
win.
Yes. We'll talk about that more later.
We'll go over the bets a little bit later. But first, before we get to some of the news topics we got this week, and also we also want to follow up on last week's episode when we were talking about 3 albums. We wanted to see where they were at on the Billboard charts.
That's right.
Just to gauge, what who is listening to these albums.
Exactly.
We got some messages that I've been wanting to read.
Yes.
There was another one. Actually, you know what? There was one from 2 weeks ago that I forgot to read on last week's episode, so I'll do that right now. So, big fan of the show. DSD goes by the name Daniel.
Go DSD.
He was born DSD, but he chose the name Daniel. 2 weeks ago, we reviewed Rise Against with their 6th, 7th, 8th album.
Yes.
I forgot about that. 8th album.
It's time
Wolves.
to let it go.
And here's what Daniel had to say about that. Sorry for late response. Great episode, though, guys. With a little more time, Wolves. I think I'm about where Adam is. Wait, with a little more time with Wolves, I think I'm about where Adam is. It's better than Black Market, but not as good as Endgame. It has some really good tracks.
Him and I are on the same page with Endgame, where we both think it's a pretty good album.
I
disagree.
I think it's forgettable, and
I
already forgot about it.
You were at a very forgettable time in your life. You have to remember that. 2011 was an incredibly forgettable year.
Was it?
Nothing was happening. Our bands were breaking up and trying to get together and then breaking up.
We started another band.
They
and
broke up
right away.
And then I stopped playing drums in November of 2011. And
drums are in my garage.
I haven't played drums since.
Sitting underneath a blanket.
In the middle of that, Endgame came out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was forgettable.
Hey, one of my favorite bands released an album.
And then you go back and listen to it, and you're like, well, this isn't that bad. It's still forgettable.
Welcome to the Breakdown, being my favorite at this point.
Yes.
One of the best songs on that album.
'Tis.
But there are too many duds for me to consider it truly great.
True.
I accept that this band will never go back to the RPM Suffer sound. but I still think this album could have been done better.
I have a bad feeling that they will try on their next album, and it's going to backfire badly.
They're going to pull a 100th rare and be like, hey, guys, we can do different things.
I've been watching my shoes for years, and nobody noticed. Anyway.
But I think this album could have been done better. P.S. Thanks for the info on the bonus tracks. Didn't even know about those songs.
Ooh.
Seosin Syndrome, indeed.
Yes. I like that we've coined that.
Yes. Spread it around, everybody.
It's so weird that, those tracks were so good in comparison to a lot of the rest of the album.
Uh-huh. So he's right about where we are with that album, so good to know. And then he sent us another message on last week's episode. Fantastic episode, guys. I guess I'll give my thoughts on the albums you guys covered. I have to say I didn't like the new Royal Blood. It was annoying and sounded like an uninspired retread of their debut. Pessimistically, I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Optimistically, I'd be like, oh, cool. It's a continuation of the album that I liked in 2014.
Yeah.
As for Melodrama, one of the best albums. Oh, good.
You got to remember, we're in a post-rare world now.
Yes.
And we expect a certain amount of change from our bands.
Every band only gets one album from now on.
Right. And then
you have to change your sound every time or change your name.
It's called rare syndrome.
It's called polyenso disease.
I have a rare syndrome.
As for Melodrama, one of the best albums of the year for me.
There you
I
go.
felt everything about it was absolutely perfect.
Everything.
100 times better than her debut. Also, I don't know what you're on, Mike, but the closer is perfectly placed.
Damn straight it is.
I'll tell you what I'm on. Psychosomatics. As for Hundredth.
Psychosomatics? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm on whatever.
You mean psychotropics?
Psychotropics.
Oh, okay, because psychosomatics would mean like you're anxious and then you have a stomach ache.
I have that too. As for Hundredth, I really enjoyed it. I get that it is a bit samey, but I think aside from a few tracks in the middle, it was pretty consistently good. It won't end up on my top 10 best list, but I am glad I listened to it. Yeah, I'm about there too.
We're all glad. I just boy did not care for it after listening to it for a solid week. But I mean, you got to give the band some credit for trying.
Yes, I am disappointed in what we ultimately got, but I am happy that I listened to it at least. Then we got another message from another big fan of the show, Brandon. We'll talk more about him next week. But I particularly enjoyed this week's episode, my dudes. Because of you guys, I'm actually going to go check out Lord's music. As far as Royal Blood, I really like that album, but to me, it wasn't any better or any worse than the first one.
That's exactly where I was.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the first album. I liked the 100th album, but I too am excited for their new direction. But like you guys said, all the songs kind of run together and it gets boring quick. There's a PS there, but I'm not going to read it because it's boring shit. There's nothing interesting in his postscript, so I'm not going to read it.
I've already read it once, but I can't remember what it is, and I can't see it from here, so I'm going to believe you.
It's the top 100.
Oh, okay.
There's something in there about a community meeting.
Community meeting.
Breaking news, Adam. I'm getting a message right this minute.
Stop.
Apparently, all 103 million of our fans
103 million.
have scheduled a meeting this week.
Yes.
And they're going to be discussing, thanks to us, because we've inspired 103 million people
and let's not
around
forget,
the world.
24 views. Next.
Oh.
103 million and 24.
Well, there's 24 computers among 103 million of them.
There you go.
So they all gather around, because it's worldwide, you see.
It's all like
from 24 countries.
Right. It's in the ghetto of India.
Yeah.
Where there's
one computer.
Where
they all conjugate to listen to our show.
Yes.
Anyway, they're scheduling a meeting this week, like a round table town square meeting, all centered around, mediated by our good friend Brandon because he's such a big fan.
That's good.
And he's going to mediate the community's official top 100 lists. The official fan top, like what all of our fans worldwide, all 103 million of them.
We got a top 20 list from DSD.
Let's
not forget that.
And it was an amazing list. And we got a lot of great albums that we didn't listen to.
I know.
And we were introduced to his favorite album, Me Without You.
I know. And that helped that Paramore album a lot.
Oh my gosh, incredible! So I'm so excited
because can you imagine
the entire rest of the world, what their favorite albums of all time are?
All time.
Yes, across decades of music.
All time after 2000, right?
like I said, across decades of music.
Of all time in the last 17 years.
Yes, that's exactly.
But can you imagine if we hadn't have heard Me Without You?
Yes.
And
How
then-
weird that album would have been.
And how weird the Paramore song would have been.
Yes.
If we had never heard that style ever in our lives.
That would have been like, wow, Haley sounds
Like,
weird.
what's going on here? Why would they add this track in? I mean, the music's good and all, but this is bizarre. Like, so I think DSD, like the timing.
Saved that album.
DSD saved that album. Exactly.
Exactly.
As you can see, it's done nothing well for them.
Nope.
And I think that one song held them back because Me Without You is not well known enough among the Paramore community.
Of course.
But that's because they don't listen to this podcast.
No.
And if you listen to this podcast, you would be informed, you'd be smart.
And fans agree.
Are wrong.
Are absolutely correct. And I can't wait to hear what the results of that community meeting. It's so cool how they're coordinating. They're traveling around the world, Adam. I don't think you understand the scope of what's going on.
It's incredible. It's like,
We started a movement.
Travel bans be damned. Muslims are welcome on this podcast.
Just to make lists.
And
that's it.
And I've been going back and forth on if I should wait until next week to look at the list, to hear it firsthand.
Adam, the list hasn't been made yet. What are you talking about?
Oh, yes. But I want to know, should I be surprised the day of, or should I peruse the list prior to us recording?
I think you'd be very surprised at what the top 10 could potentially be. I'm just saying, like, brainstorming in my head what this top 10 could be.
Me too. I know what number 100 is. That's the only one I've seen so far, which is ironically the same as my number 105.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yes.
But that's all I know. So should I wait?
I think you should wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the group's only made one pick yet.
Yes.
The number 100 list.
Yes.
The number 100.
It's hard for 103 million people to agree on something because you got to pass the mic around. That takes a long time. But at least they agreed on 100. So they're 1% of the way there.
1%.
You guys have a week. But yeah, I think you should wait. I think you should. It's a really good list.
I'm excited.
Probably.
I really am. And I hope that we get more lists.
Mm-hmm.
We know there's at least 88 people that see our posts on Facebook. We would love for them to send us their list.
At least on Facebook, but there's like 200-300 people who listen a week.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense, but you know what? I'm okay with it.
Well, it's
interactions, baby.
It's no
Email
17,000.
us, message us, make our episode 250
great again.
Great again. There we go. So let's get back to. We're going to follow up on some stuff. We talked about the breakup of Misfortune last week, but now we officially got the official statements from the last two members of the band.
I guess we kind of did.
Yeah.
Which wasn't too much. But
well, I'm not going to read like the opening paragraph. It's like, oh, we're so grateful. Like we put our sweat, like, whatever. Fuck you. But from Josh, I'd like to thank everyone that was involved in making Misfortune happen from the beginning, and wish only the best for everyone and their future endeavors. Also, every fan that went to the show, bought a shirt, a CD, listened to our music, downloaded it illegally online. That's me.
I tried to go see you guys live, but
yeah, we went to go see you guys live.
You weren't able to be there. I was there, but you weren't.
Stop punching old men. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I'll still be making music, and we'll go back to strictly being a solo guitarist. Is there a market for solo guitarist?
There sure is, Mike.
All right.
There sure is.
Thanks for sticking by us this whole time. I thank God for everything that we achieved as a band, and I can't wait for what lies in the future. From Mikey. The past 6 years have been a wild ride. I mean, all those albums that they wrote.
Like
many albums.
In 6 years? One album? Holy crap.
Played in Australia.
I made more albums than that in the last 6 years.
So, yeah. Oh, my God. That's true.
But anyway.
We've played in Australia, worked with two of our dream producers, and created a legacy, Adam, that I know will never die.
Two producers?
One producer for the record, one producer for the one track they wrote.
The two singles.
Two singles,
so far
that's what it was, yes. The last thing I wanted was for this to end, but one door closes, another door opens. Being in a band is hard when you blur the lines between friendship and business every single day. And MF is no exception to the rule. I love every person who ever played for this band, and I owe my life to each and every one of them. I promise to keep singing to those who would listen.
Oh, I didn't know Scott Stapp showed up and started writing. What the hell? Oh, you're my life.
Thank you to everyone who stuck beside us. And
and who saw us at Chain Reaction 3 days ago.
Exactly. One of the things that stuck out to me was the blurring of lines between business and friendship.
Ooh, that's
so
what
it sounds
usually
like they
tears
had a
them apart.
falling out. Yeah.
I cannot believe that after I made my statement that no band ever breaks up, 3 bands I like broke up.
That's true.
Isn't that bizarre? Anyway, I guess
Anyway.
I can't count a Skylit Drive into that, but I still feel like they broke up. In my opinion.
So that sounds to me, at least, Mikey Sawyer might still pursue what's that side project band, or now it's probably going to be his
Northern
main
Lights?
band? Yeah, let's get some Northern Lights in here.
It just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I know, but now he has time to do this now.
But it's like it's weird because
He was so busy in Misfortune.
I think that also happened though. Like Misfortune was going, they were like promoting their shows, and then all of a sudden Northern Lights post, "Hey, I hope you guys are excited to hear new tracks." And it's
Oh,
like,
yes,
how?
yes.
What? Pick a band, and maybe that's what happened finally.
Oh well, you know.
Maybe that's what broke the band up was
Oh,
because he said that about
no.
Northern Lights.
Oh no,
Who knows?
we're never going to hear from Mikey Sawyer ever again. I'm just saying.
Southern Darks.
I like it. I love it. All right, so last week we reviewed 3 albums. You know, for the most part, I at least on my side, I feel like I enjoyed all 3 of them for what they were. 2 of them we got, like, you know, I think we kind of unanimously agree. Mixed reviews.
Mixed.
We both enjoyed Melodrama by Lord very much, and it turns out the world did too.
I know. Mikey
Debuted at number 1 on the
was
top 200.
very surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, you were skeptical that it was even gonna.
Well, I didn't think it would be well received by her fans.
Ah.
But then you said something like it's probably number 1 right now.
Yeah.
But then it came out and was number 1.
Turns out now, yeah, debuted at number 1, and I feel like it's going to hold the number 1 position for many, many weeks.
Well, what's interesting is that bands sure do shuffle around a lot
They
on
sure
this
do,
top
Adam.
200 list, including
Last week,
albums that were released 20 and 30 years ago showing up on this list out of nowhere, which is strange. Like Thriller
yeah,
being in
people
the
are
top
buying
200 still.
Thriller, apparently. I can't. Oh, there it is. I think last week we just casually checked this band just because we were on the Billboard website while we were
Right,
recording.
right.
And I was surprised, like, oh, look, people are really enjoying Wolves by Rise Against.
The number
'Cause
9
it
album in the
debuted
country.
at number 9. That's really interesting. So, Adam, this week, scroll. Oh, where is it now? It's not in the top
Was it
10.
number 11?
No, it's not number 11. Well, let me check the top
15?
100. Scroll. No, it's not even
gotta
the
be-
top 100.
It's got to be in the top 50,
It's
right?
got to be at least top 150. Let me scroll. No, it's not there either. Adam, where the heck
Keep
is Wolves
scrolling.
by Rise Against?
Oh, I think it's right there after number
Oh.
173.
It's at 174.
Whoa, that's a big
It's
drop.
a huge drop. Wow.
I don't know what the largest drop in history ever was, but dropping 165 spots in 1 week, that's got to be up there, right?
That's pretty low. Wow. But good for them. They're at least still in the top 200. They're not going to be the top 200 by next week.
Nope.
We'll have to. They won't even let us check because they don't track it after 200.
That's right.
Never mind.
I was really surprised to see so many albums, and they're like Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits.
Mhm.
That album came out in like the freaking early 90s, was in Billboard's top 200. And then Thriller, like we
Yep.
mentioned, and Hardwired to Self-Destruct
Oh my.
had jumped like 30 spots in the
Why
last
are
week.
people buying that
I
album?
don't know who's keeping who. I mean, they add in digital downloads as well. Right?
Yeah, now as of like a couple years ago, digital downloads
Yeah.
and streams and like
lakes
like
and rivers and
lakes
all
and
that.
rivers, ponds even. They started adding ponds a couple weeks ago. But even when we reviewed How Did It Get So Dark by Royal Blood, that did fairly well. It debuted at number 25. That's respectable for a band like that.
Think so. I would.
Their first album debuted or peaked at least at 17.
So
Which
that
is
is
pretty
a
good.
little bit of a disappointment then for them.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought like a second album would rank a lot higher.
Mm-hmm.
But
We listen, I guess, on and off now to the Lead Singer Syndrome's podcast, and one of the things that they like to reiterate every so often is that a band's second album is often their most important. It's the make and break album for a lot of bands. If it doesn't do
Yes.
well, most of the time, that band will often fade off into mediocrity.
But it depends on how well the first album did.
Correct.
Because usually, unless the first album hits like crazy,
Yes,
which with Royal Blood it did.
it did.
Now, a band like Trophy Eyes, whole different story.
Yes. Well, the last album that we reviewed last week. A little bit of unfortunate news for them, but I guess this past week they woke up yesterday morning and their bus caught on fire.
Somebody left the curling iron on.
They were too busy gazing at their shoes to notice a fire going on their bus.
Oh,
and
man.
they are...
I think well, we're talking about Hundredth.
Yes.
Their bus caught on fire this week while they were
Correct.
on Warped Tour with Being as an Ocean.
They're
And-
sharing a bus with Being as an Ocean.
Yes, which kind of sucks in and of itself. But
And we're still waiting on that Being as an Ocean album that was supposed to drop
that's
4
right.
weeks ago.
It never did?
It's still not. There's no news. Everywhere I check, no release date, no news. They're not allowed to post about it.
I totally forgot about that.
Mm.
So I guess the band did too. Good for them. It's probably not a very good
album. What?
So I'm thinking that, Hundredth found out, like, hey guys, we're number 8 on the Heat Seekers.
Oh yes.
I don't think any of their albums have charted before either.
Let's
At
check
least
here.
Not
We
according to
have-
their Wikipedia.
On the Heat Seekers, Free, their last album from 2015, peaked at 3 for the Heat Seekers album.
Okay.
Resist was at number 4. Rare, like you said, is number 8.
How did you find this? I totally looked up Hundredth on Billboard and it said no results.
Yep, because Billboard is the worst fucking website to navigate through. I had to actually dig through to actually find this stuff.
Oh, dang. Good for you.
Yeah, Let Go from 2011, number 37.
So these are all
Not that good.
Heat Seekers charts?
Yes, on the
Not-
top 200, let's see what... So Resist peaked. This is their 2014 EP, right?
I think so.
167.
Well, there you go. So
And that was the only album to ever break the top 200 for them.
Wow. So maybe it was kind of time for them to make a change.
Yeah, I know. Even in the hard rock, Free peaked at number 8.
But
Resist
they took the
at number
Heat-
11.
They took the Heat Seekers thing a little bit too seriously, I guess.
But did they make a post about it?
on the bus?
Oh, did they make a mention of that?
Because the bus got really hot.
Oh.
And caught on fire. I'm just saying.
Damn.
Damn, son.
You literally got burned.
You were in there with Being as an Ocean, and we
you
couldn't.
still couldn't put out them flames. Damn, son.
We're going
Them
to number
burns
one.
keep coming.
So, man, I don't know what happens to a band when their bus catches fire in the middle of Warped Tour.
And they said that they're not going to start a GoFundMe thing. They're just going to live off of good vibes. So good luck to 100th.
I would assume like none of their equipment was on the bus.
I don't know. Who knows?
Like they wouldn't be able to really tour.
I think they have like a trailer that
make
holds all
sense.
the equipment and stuff. But the bus is mainly just for sleeping.
I wonder how all that works
Commuting.
when you rent the bus and then you pay insurance on it.
Mm-hmm.
So does that cover catching it on fire?
Well, I'm sure the label was the one who provided the bus for them.
Like
So they're the ones who have to take care of it.
I'm sure they had to front some money for that though.
I'm sure no foul play was involved, but who knows? Maybe we'll see.
No drugs or alcohol
No.
ever.
Mm.
Because they're both Christian bands, right?
I know that Being as an Ocean is.
I know. I was kidding. 100th, you never know.
Mm.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Well, good luck to that band. I'm sorry that I felt like that album at least deserved to be on the top 200 at least. It's a very interesting album.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
all right,
it's interesting.
I don't know what the fans are thinking though. I
You
guess
and I listen to a lot of music, so I
We
feel like
do.
somebody who doesn't listen to as much music as we do would have probably picked who happens to know of 100th would have listened to that album and be like, "Whoa, this is the next big thing."
Well, and I mean, all the Facebook feedback I've been reading seems positive still.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to go with everybody loves it, and the band will be back again.
Everybody loves it, but no one's gonna pay for it. But
I guess not.
Let's move on. Do you want to go over our bets right now, or do you want to go over our albums first?
Let's go over our bets real
Okay.
quick. Because
So
I need to figure out if I need to make some changes.
Okay.
Since Mike was going to be so harsh with his stakes.
Your stakes were just as harsh, my friend.
Yeah, but I had to take a week in consultation with my wife to figure them out.
All right. So if you don't know, back in January there was an episode
Packers jersey.
called
Fucking love.
Self Harmony.
Fucking asshole, make me wear Packers jersey.
Shut up, Adam. We had an episode released called Self Harmony where we did our first ever skinny bets, and that's where we created some bets, some friendly bets between the two of us
Friend
based
of
on
my
stuff.
ass.
Shut up, Adam. It's 1 month. I changed it from 6 months to 1 month.
6 months was ridiculous.
I know. And I realized that because you didn't know like how serious the stakes were going to be. So I was like, okay,
Exactly.
1 month is fine.
All I
But
did was
anyway.
make up ones that would make you laugh, and our 2 viewers also to laugh.
So we made 10 bets each. There's 20 bets total. The final bet at the end is worth 10 points. These are all point based, and whoever has the most points by the end of the year
Wins.
wins and
Or
it's-
loses.
I think wins.
Yeah.
We'll stick with wins. So what I ended up doing is it's just for the 2 of us. I made a spreadsheet to keep track of these bets.
Thank God.
So far, 7 of them have come to fruition. Yes, 7 of them have come to fruition.
Ooh.
And we have a point. We have the points as of right now.
Yes.
Do you want to go over the ones that have
Spoiler
come?
alert, Adam's losing.
Adam is losing by 4. But do you want to go over what has come true so far?
You go ahead and read them because I cannot see them from
Adam, read them from where you're sitting. The new first bet that has come true was actually one of the first things that
Oh, the Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl. Yes, the New England Patriots will win the Super Bowl Lee by more than 14 points.
By Lee, he means 51.
Yep. We both wagered yes on that. We both got that wrong, so 0 points for both.
That was an amazing fact that both of us got wrong. Because
Yeah.
both of us were expecting the Patriots to win, but we were also...
I was expecting a blowout, though.
We
which
were
is why
both
I put 14
expecting...
points.
Yeah.
The Patriots did win the game, but they only won by 6 points.
Because it went into overtime, and it was
an
one of
incredible comeback.
one of the most incredible Super Bowls of all
Yes.
time.
Next
Anyway.
up, Adam bet.
Not
that
if you're
there-
a Falcons fan.
What's that?
Not if you're a Falcons fan.
Oh, yes. My favorite team.
I know.
There will be a duet on the album This Emptiness by the Dead Rabbits featuring Ash Costello.
Right.
Had we known that they were not dating anymore, maybe Adam...
But when they recorded the album, I'm sure they were dating.
I think you're right about
And I
that.
bet you now that they're not dating, he probably had to remove her tracks and then brought in that other chick on that utterly terrible album.
Yes. We both bet yes on that. 0 points for both of us. There was
0.
no duets on...
I can't believe you
on that
gave me
album.
a shot on that one. That
I
was-
know, right?
Like you actually believed me.
So this one came to fruition a couple weeks ago with Mike and Adam. Tour. We'll go to Warped Tour 2017 as press. We both bet yes on that.
Thanks, Warped
0
Tour.
points
You
for
ruined
both
our
of us.
lives.
Yeah. You fucks. That would have been an
Yes.
easy point for both of us. I'm going to go ahead and
fact
just
that-
say yes on this one. This was a
yes.
joke bet that Adam, one of
his
Adam's
3
many joke
that he
bets.
just came up with
Yes.
to be funny.
Mike and Erica break up after a heated debate over which Batman villain to name
Right.
their first child after. That bet
So
has
I'm just
everything.
saying,
That bet has everything. Not only do we break up, but we get pregnant, and we break up because we can't agree
So the
on whether or not we name it after the
so the
Penguin
reason
or
the
Two-Face
reason I'm wrong
or
is because you
Catwoman.
guys agreed on which Batman villain to name your child after. Yes.
Oh my gosh,
and
you're
that
right.
name is
Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle McCullough. Go ahead. I bet no. Adam bet yes. That gave me an easy 1 point. So Adam is contending now that he has the right to withhold some of those.
So now I'm going to
some of
switch
these
it to
bets.
you guys actually agree on which Batman villain to name.
How about this? Do you want to withhold 2 bets and I'll withhold 2 bets?
We could
We're
do
gonna
that.
null
I guess
2
that
of
would be
these
fair.
bets?
Even though I
Okay.
think I had 3
All
joke
right.
ones, right?
You did have 3 joke ones, but getting rid of all 3 of them I think would be a little unfair. Because then I
It's
would
not
have to
my
get rid of
fault you
3
don't
and
want to
2.
move to my neighborhood.
Speaking of which, Mike will finally buy a house in my neighborhood and we will build an underground tunnel to each other.
It's
I
not
voted
my
no,
fault
he
that you
voted
won't
yes.
do this one. I can't change you. So I'm just saying.
You
I
can
can't
make
change
these
other
bets.
people. But
Is that another? Okay.
what
Do you
was-
want to
what
decide
was the
right
third
now?
one?
Which
I can't
2
remember.
bets?
Maybe the
So there's another one. I don't think was a joke bet. It was kind of a half joke.
Okay.
But the new Falling in Reverse album will be Mike's #1 album of 2017.
that was a serious one.
That was a serious
I
one.
really thought that.
I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Right.
But it's
not the
I
number
think
one.
I can preemptively say it's not going to be in my not even my top 10. I don't
You
think this
don't
year.
know that yet.
We'll get to the albums very soon.
Falling in Reverse, then the Menzingers,
Yep.
then the Emptiness by
Then
the Dead
Rare.
Rabbits. Rare.
So there is another another bet here. It was a serious bet by Adam. The new Motionless in White album will have a track featuring
gay as
Ronnie
fuck.
Radke.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a fair bet. I think that was a fair assumption.
It was
'cause
very fair.
I went back and listened to our episode because I was making the spreadsheet, and you claimed that Chris Motionless knows this scene. He would know who to bring in on this album just to
Right.
create like some hype and some cross promotion.
But instead, he went backwards in time, a la Doc Brown.
Yep.
Chris Motionless, you need to go back and get Jonathan Davis. He's what the kids need.
And when I was listening back to this, I made the passing like half joke like, oh, he should bring in someone like Marilyn Manson or Jonathan Davis
And I
or
said-
Corey Taylor from
And I said,
Slipknot.
they're too old. It's
They're
not
too
going to
old.
happen.
Well, lo and behold,
Lo and behold,
Jonathan Davis of Korn is actually featured on track 3 or 4
on one of the
Graveyard
worst
Shift.
songs of the album. Oh, wait, they're all bad.
They're all bad. It's one of the worst albums this year.
Oh, my God. I cannot believe
So
how bad
I got
it
a
is.
point on that because I voted no.
Mhm.
Even though I thought it might have come true, I still voted no. I voted against
I guess
it,
I
so.
should have probably said Chadwick Johnson from Hunt would have been on it. I would probably
There we go.
been more likely.
That's going to be the next one, I think. The next 100th album is going to feature Chris Motionless, I think. So as of where it stands right now, I have 4 points. Adam has 0 points. But based on the final bets, I mean, that could change this whole thing.
I know.
My final bet was that the Skinny with Mike and Adam will have more than 200 likes on their official Facebook page by December 31st. Adam's final bet,
And-
Brian Fallon will release his second and third solo albums before 2017 is done. For the final bets,
That'll
I
be
voted
fun.
yes on mine, you voted no, and I voted no on yours, even though I want it to come true.
Of course.
And so that could very drastically change who wins and loses.
Oh, we know he's working on an album.
Yes.
And since you made that bet,
Yeah.
we've gotten, 5 likes in the last
Yes.
6 months?
Mhm.
So,
Well
or 5
on our
months?
way.
We're on our way to that 97 more likes needed.
Oh yeah, baby.
So we're going to delete 2.
Okay, do you want to delete the breakup one and the house one?
We'll break up the breakup one and the house one.
Okay.
Granted,
So
I want.
think that's fair.
I mean,
then.
well, I only want one of those to actually happen.
The house one.
Yes.
Okay.
Are
Good.
you sure? Maybe I'll let you guess.
There are some really good bets in here, but I think for mine,
That'd be
if
terrible
you're-
if it was the other way. I want you to be single and to live in your house for the rest of your
Yeah,
life,
there we go.
miserable and alone.
I'm only doing this because I love you and because I want to win a bet.
And I have cheap rent.
I will be deleting my 2 video game bets
Oh.
out of mercy. The Final Fantasy VII Remake will release its first episode by December 31st. I recently read some news. Remember, this game was announced 2 years ago. That they're now hiring people to work on the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Finally.
Fuck you! You announced the
Hey.
game 2 years ago, and you're now hiring people?
That
What
doesn't-
the fuck is wrong
And
with you?
they got 6 months to get it out. What's the problem? That's how long it takes to make a video
I'm
game.
going to be playing this game with my fucking grandchildren. That's what's going to fucking happen. I'm going to take that off. And
No matter what, you'll be playing with your grandchildren.
Oh, I know. That's true. But let's see. There was another one I wanted to take out. I think I'm going to go ahead and take out the Nintendo Switch will not sell more than 5
Aw.
million units worldwide by the end of 2017.
I
You
wanna-
said that was not going to come true. After the first month sale, this Nintendo Switch is at 2.97 million worldwide.
When did it come out?
March.
March. Okay. So, yeah, that doesn't mean it's
It's-
going to get to 5 million.
Maybe nobody wants a Nintendo Switch from
Everybody
now on.
everybody who bought it has already bought it.
Yeah.
Nobody
And
else
no
gives
one
a
else
shit.
is ever going to buy it.
Who,
right? From now
who
to the end of
says,
the year.
hey, this just came out. I'm going to go ahead and wait 5 months until I buy it.
That's me, baby.
That's 3 million people that you're banking on.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm
Well,
still going to go ahead.
over 2 million.
I can probably guarantee that as of right now, it's probably like in the 6 or 7 million.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and delete those 2 video game ones.
All right, fine.
So you've deleted 2, I've deleted 2. We've got 16 bets left. But now that we know what's at stake
Yes.
for these skinny bets,
We can-
next year, all bets are final.
Yes, of course.
Okay, cool.
Because I didn't know. Because Mike just put in his little post of like, we'll talk about the bets on the show. Ha ha ha. Like I didn't know what to make of that post.
Okay.
And you didn't say like it's going to be bad or there's going to be blood or whatever. But yeah,
There will be Packers.
there will be Packers.
So if you don't
and
know,
Aaron
if you didn't
Rodgers
listen to
is-
that thing, if I win, if I get more points than Adam, Adam will have to change his Facebook profile picture to himself wearing Green Bay Packers memorabilia
Yes.
with the caption, that says, "I can't wait for this upcoming Packers season."
Exactly.
If Adam wins, I have to do the same thing for a month, but with a "Make America Great Again" hat with a caption that says, "I agree with whatever."
Well, there was going to be once a week. You were going to have to do your update your status to agree with
I agree
whatever
with
new
bullshit that are
yeah.
current. And this is also barring the fact that we still have the same president by the end of the year.
Right, which I think will still happen.
You think will still
in
happen?
6 months?
Okay.
They're not really rushing this whole impeachment thing. So.
It's not going to happen.
So the
unfortunately.
other one about the Cubs not making the playoffs.
Yes.
Since this is the exact middle of the season today. Now the Cubs already, they've won 40 games this year.
Ooh, out of?
But they've lost 40 games this year. So they're at 500.
Meh.
They're 2 games back in the division at the halfway point here.
They've squandered all of that goodwill.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
All
They're
the
driving me
bandwagoners have jumped off the
goddamn
wagon.
Nuts.
Mm.
All the freaking Padre fans are gloating in the streets.
Going back to San Diego, we've got a one-way ticket. Of course they're going to play this song at a San Diego stadium at a sports game.
Think
I
of every
cringed so
person
hard.
I've ever lost.
Think of every team that has ever lost at Qualcomm
San
Stadium,
At Petco Stadium.
Petco Stadium.
And all the other stadiums, because we're the Padres and we've never won the World Series. So, take that. Anyway.
Suck my fuck. All right, so we also want to go over all of the albums that we've listened to so far this year.
Have you
And
really
it's
listened
been
to
a
that
lot.
many?
I've
had
listened to
literally
almost
20.
40 albums.
I've listened to 20 albums and like 5 EPs.
Okay.
So I'm like way behind you.
Apparently. Well, I have an Excel spreadsheet, but because I'm looking at it on my phone, I don't know how many albums I have so far, but I think it's like 36 so far.
Okay. I have 25, including my EPs.
There are some in here that I have listened to that I know you haven't listened to, like
There'll probably be 11.
probably, yeah. Oh wow, math is fun. But let's go over them, and while we're going, feel free to stop me. And if you've gone back and listened to them, or if your opinion has changed, or if you feel like you might want to go back to that. So let's go over them, shall we? First album we listened to this year was the Blood album by
That's right.
AFI.
Fairly good album.
Fairly good. I've gone back and listened to it. My girlfriend Erica, big fan of that album.
Ooh.
And
Is she a fan of the old?
She is a big fan of Sing the Sorrow and December
Oh,
Underground. The
okay.
correct answers.
The correct answers was also The Art of Drowning.
The Art of Drowning.
As all of us should know.
Somebody's favorite album
Of all time.
Of all time.
So she needs to listen to that shit and get a real perspective on what that band is.
Days of the Phoenix. And the rest.
Nihilist.
The Nihilist. Great song.
Yes.
Here's an album that I listened to. Palisades by Palisades.
How
That's
was Palisades?
That's fine.
Are they a metalcore-ish
They're
band?
a metalcore-ish, atmospheric, I want to say shoegazing band. I know that term now. I'm going to use it all the time.
Nope. Hundredth is the only shoegazing band to ever exist in our scene.
Here's an album that has its review in the title. Okay, by As It Is. What did you think? Do you remember anything about Okay?
There was a couple of songs that were kind of poppy and okay.
It's fine, whatever. One of the most forgettable albums this
The
year.
majority of this year has been pretty forgettable so far.
Posture of Apology by Souvenirs.
Terrible.
It's all right.
We were going to review it, and then Mike was like, I'm not really feeling this album at all. Let's do something else this week.
Let's do something. Yeah, we did do that. Lonesome, I think second solo album by J.T. Woodruff.
Yes.
Lots
Probably
of California references in
one
that
of the best albums I've heard.
It's a
this
really
year.
good acoustic album. I like it a lot.
Yes.
One of the best albums I've listened to this year, After the Party by the Menzingers.
Can't go wrong with
Album
some
that
Menzies.
album that we were highly anticipating. Did not let us down. Exceeded my expectations.
Yes.
Really happy I listened to that. In Your Absence, we got a nice little EP by Senses Fail. For
That's
me,
right.
one of the best songs this year was Jets to Peru, the single that came off of that.
Yes.
Great song.
They're working on their new album now.
Mhm.
Didn't you have a bet about a new Census Fail album
I did.
being a really
It was
highly
going
rated
to
album?
that they were going to have a full length this year, and it was going to rank at least 75% on your scale.
Okay,
And you took that bet.
I did. Yes.
Let's
'Cause
see.
I disagree because it's with 6 months and still no album.
They're writing it right now.
I know. Just saying.
They said they're 2 tracks done.
2 tracks.
2! We've got an album, baby. Let's see. I checked out this band only because
There's
I
so
saw
much beauty.
They're not going to do that anymore.
I know.
You read that post?
It's all melody driven now.
It's all... They said it's going to be like... they wrote an album between Still Searching and Life Is Not a Waiting Room. Going back to the basics.
Yes.
Hey, guys, remember the early 2000s?
I've forgotten. Isn't it the mid 2000s for Life Is Not a Waiting Room? Wasn't it 2008?
It was 2000.
Yeah,
Right.
that's 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So something from 2007.
Remember 2007?
I do. That was a big year for music.
We were sort of... well, here's... I guess I'll just read off what I've been listening to. Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness with Zombies on Broadway.
Pretty bad.
Connor Oberst with Salutations. While She Sleeps with You Are We.
You Are We.
Yep. They're a English band, and I only know of them because Bring Me the Horizon shared their music video because
That's right.
Ollie Sykes is in it.
That's right. I remember that now.
The majority of the music video follows Ollie Sykes as he's walking across various settings to make it to where the band is performing, and then he sings one line, and you never see Ollie Sykes again.
This is the greatest day of my life.
Okay, bye.
That's it. Okay.
Falling in Reverse with Coming Home.
Fair.
Better than I thought it was going to be. But
Unfortunately,
it's not going to be my number one album this year,
it's
unfortunately.
the exact percentage as the Rise Against album, which I still
I know.
feel like
Isn't that
the
sad?
good songs are better than the Rise Against.
Here's a new
good
band that I
songs.
checked out, their debut album, and it's really cool. It's like really spacey, kind of like Nine Inch Nails, also kind of like Silver Sun Pickups kind of sound, called The Annex, A-N-I-X, with Ephemeral. Really cool sound. You should check that out.
The EP or full?
It's a full-length album.
Hmm.
Cool sound.
All I do is check my Dropbox every single day.
Yep.
Anything you put in there, I'm going to listen to.
You
don't need to ask me if I approve of it. Just be like, hey, I'm sending you this album that I kind of liked, and then you can just send it over.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
Okay, I'll do things. I think we talked about this band because we saw their name on the Warped Tour list. Courage, My Love, female-driven kind of alternative punk band. Yeah, that album's garbage.
Oh.
Man,
it's a lot of garbage this year so far.
Synesthia, yeah.
What number album are you on at this point?
I don't know. I don't have a name. Or I don't have a number. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. This is the 14th album.
I've already picked out 3 albums out of 14 that I'm like, those are pretty good.
Yep. the only albums so far that I would say are great are the Menzingers, and I would even throw the Blood album by AFI in there. That's it. Here we go. This album is kind of divisive between the two of us. The Main.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Divisi.
We're not there yet.
Oh yeah, Lovely Little
Lonely. I enjoyed that album. You think it's poo poo?
I thought it was a 5 out of 11, which is
pretty poo poo
in the middle, but still there was a lot of poo poo on it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that album. I'm not a big Main fan.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yeah.
But I like
There's a song on there called
better.
Black Butterflies and Deja Vu, which I think is one of the best songs of the year.
Is that track 2?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't listened to this album in forever.
Since March.
Speaking of forever, Eternity Forever.
Yes.
With Fantasy. Oh
Probably
my gosh,
the
what
greatest,
a fantastic EP.
I mean, it doesn't count for me because it's an EP, but for you it'll probably be
a real album.
number 1 album of the year.
Number 1. Well, I'll tell you, one of the best songs I've heard this year is Fantasy, the lead single off of that. Oh my god, such a good song.
I know.
Kurt Travis, baby. Here's something that disappointed me. K-Flay with her new album Everywhere is Somewhere. Is everywhere somewhere? Probably. I mean, what about over there? What about over here?
That's somewhere.
That's somewhere.
But is it everywhere?
What about These Nuts?
We'll
That's
never know.
Everywhere.
We'll never know.
I was very disappointed in this. I was looking forward to it.
Didn't one of our fans like that album? Was it Brandon?
I think so.
Somebody on who
I can't be
messaged.
expected to remember every email. We get so many emails.
Too many fans to respond to.
This is something that excited both of us. We're in April, by the way. This Emptiness.
You were in April.
Oh.
I was never in April. Only in my
Talking about the
deepest,
April
darkest
albums.
fight. Oh, sorry. Oh, that April. Okay. The month of April.
The Dead Rabbits with This Emptiness. Oh,
man.
boy.
What the God? After Shapeshifter was like so good.
I thought this next
Man.
album, after their very disappointing last album, was going to be like, okay, we're back in the groove of it, but this is another album where the album title is the review. Newfound Glory with Makes Me Sick. Oh, boy.
Did it really make you sick?
I don't know. It was an alright album.
There was a couple
Very
of good
disappointing.
tracks. I can't remember what I gave it. I think it was like a 4 out of 11 or something.
There's
No,
another album.
I don't think it was that bad because that's what Resurrection kind of was. It was
yeah.
better than Resurrection. I remember that.
Better than Resurrection, but like, come on, guys.
Eh.
You can do better than this.
Album number 8 is usually not your best.
Incubus with 8. And that album title is what I would give this album an 8 out of 100.
Oh my god, it was that bad, really?
Oh, dude, it's so boring. It's
Just
so
when
boring.
I think like, I should probably give Incubus a shot someday. I never have.
There's some great Incubus songs
I
out there.
know.
There's some great Incubus albums out there. 8 is not one of them. Gorillas with Humans.
Yeah, you were all excited about that one.
I was really excited about that. I was like, Gorillas have some great songs.
No, they don't.
This is an album where every humans should not listen to.
Like I said,
Adam, you know what
they
album
don't have good
will
songs.
send me to the graveyard?
Oh no,
Graveyard Shift
God.
by Motionless in White.
I don't know why I was like expecting something different from this band. I think it was just because 570
Well,
was
we
such a
definitely
good track.
got something different from this band.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. This episode. This
I know.
album's hot garbage.
But I was kind of expecting them to take the macabre theme into like a really a gooder realm.
Yes.
And 570 was a great track.
Uh-huh.
But boy, the rest of the album was not. Except
Oh
for a couple
boy.
tracks.
I hope this album goes to the graveyard. And At the Drive-In came out with another comeback album this
Oh,
year.
man.
Enter Alia. It's all right.
Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman. So here's one that we were very cautiously optimistic about. I think it let you down a lot more than let me down, but
Oh, sorry.
Devacy by A Lot
That's
Like
right.
Birds. I think it's growing on me. It won't make my top 100 album, or top 10 albums this year, but it's growing on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see where it's at. Maybe I can make that one of my bets.
There we go.
Devacy will be in the top 10 by the end of the year.
No, your bets are done, man.
Oh.
You made your bets.
Oh, I thought we were adding 2 more in.
No, we're deleting them. It wouldn't be fair to add new bets.
Just within the last 6 months? I thought it would be, but whatever. Like, I
You
could
wanna
bet
make new bets?
that I also agree the Cubs won't make the playoffs.
You can't change your bets, Adam. You've made your bed.
But that would be the thing. I would make that bet,
Uh-huh.
and then I would lose a point for getting...
But gain a point?
Exactly.
You son of a bitch.
But anyway, it's
Here's
getting
an-
better. Like, I don't even want to go back and listen to it
Really?
at all. But
You
that's just me.
never seem to fall. That's a great song, dude. Love that song.
Yes.
Dead Mothers.
Dead
Adam,
mothers.
his mother's dead.
How
He
many
wrote a
more
song about it.
dead mothers will there be on an album?
Here's an album that seems to be killing a lot of mothers. That doesn't make any sense. One More Light by Linkin Park. Even though there's some stuff that we enjoy about it,
Killing a lot of
nobody's
mothers.
liking that album at all.
Nope. I think we like it more than everyone else, and it was, 60% for me.
Yeah. Blink-182 with the California Deluxe Edition. There are
If you-
no songs about naked dudes in pools. Do not approve.
Would not bang.
The Goo Goo Dolls. You should be happy. Their new EP. Good stuff, man.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more than I did Boxes.
Good. I'm
A
glad
couple
to hear
years
it.
ago. Good stuff. Our Last Night. We just talked about this not too
That's
long ago.
right.
A couple of weeks ago. Selective Hearing.
I haven't re-listened to that now in a couple of weeks. I should probably go
Do
back.
you think you'll be going back to that?
I definitely will, because it was pretty darn good.
Yeah, 7 tracks. I mean, it's kind of par for the course, but it's good.
It
good
was a
stuff.
5, I gave it.
Yeah, and then there's some recent stuff we got, but we're going to remind you guys anyway. Wolves by Rise Against. I don't think I'm going to be going back to that.
I really don't want to.
Yeah. It's not grabbing me like a lot of some of these albums are. Melodrama by Lord. I'm definitely going to be going back to that. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm enjoying.
I'm looking forward to it.
Rare by Hundredth. Yeah, just don't listen to this on your bus. It might light your bus on fire.
Oh.
How Did We Get So Dark by Royal Blood. I think I'm going to let that go. But we definitely recommend this one. How to Tear Apart the Ones You Love EP. This is like his first official release by Corey Wells.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I was just like, I know that title, but
Yeah.
what from?
Sad AF stuff. Is this like his first like official release though?
I don't have any idea. I
A
can't
lot of the
keep
stuff
track.
is like self-released stuff maybe that he recorded at home. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Let's see.
I think that's it, right?
That's
the last I have.
Well, here's some stuff that I have not listened to yet. It's still in my queue. The Imagine Dragons new album called Evolve.
I did not know you were an Imagine Dragons fan.
I did not, but my girlfriend Erica was very interested in checking out that album. So we were checking it out together. This new band, Separations, maybe that's something we can check out together. It's getting some buzz.
Balance and Composure?
No. What? Oh, yeah, they had an album called that, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Envy on the Coast, which is an old kind of emo alternative band. They shadow dropped an EP the other day called Ritual.
Ooh.
Sure. Oh, and we also got a message, by the way, by our listener Brandon. He recommended that we check out the new All Time Low album, Last Young Renegade.
I haven't listened to any All Time Low because Mike keeps refusing to let me ever listen to
I do not
them.
like that band, and I told him I don't like that band. But he says he really likes it. It's one of his favorite albums this year. So I think we should give it the benefit of the doubt.
I think you should, because you've
I'll
heard
take the bullet.
You've heard the other albums.
Yeah.
I really don't want to go back and
Sure.
listen to them all, but maybe again I should. I got that coworker who likes them a lot.
Oh, that's right.
And then I could talk to her about other things besides mental illness.
And finally, the last thing in my queue that I haven't listened to, the new kind of comeback record from this band, because this band hasn't been around in a while, Greeley Estates. They released a new EP called Calling All the Hopeless. That's a really interesting band with a very interesting vocal style. Adam's never going to listen to it because I'm never going to give it to him.
I don't know if you have it in your iTunes. All you got to do is put it in your Dropbox. You know,
I don't know how to do things like that.
I know, and you can't get around to it ever because you're so busy.
I'm so busy.
You're so busy these
All the
days.
time.
So literally, out of all those albums, I have 5
Wow.
that I actually could say like those were good albums.
Can you name the 5?
There was
AFI,
Menzingers,
Menzingers,
J.T. Woodruff,
yeah,
Melodrama,
Lord,
and Royal Blood.
Royal Blood. Huh. Wow. And you don't
Everything else I
like Royal Blood.
Everything else I liked this year was the EPs.
Oh man.
So I've had a shitty year so far.
But you know, I always end up saying that like by the mid-year, but then like the second half of the year comes along and it's like, amazing album, and everything's gonna come out in September. I know it.
Is that when Paris
is
album
coming out in the first week of August.
Okay.
The second week of July, we're getting the new Silverstein album.
That's right.
So that's like the only
coming
major
soon.
album that's coming out.
Well, last year
month.
I remember Capsize came out in July.
Yes.
And that ended up being a really good album for me. Number 10 on my list. So maybe July and beyond will save this year.
Everybody seems to save their albums for summer and beyond.
I guess that's why they rushed that Souvenirs album the first week of January.
Yes. Gotta get this shit out of here.
Because remember, they announced, oh, by the way, guys, we're going to release the album next week now.
Next week.
Shadow drop in a way.
Yep.
So yeah, what a bad year for music so far.
So far, yeah, it's not looking so good. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get that new Census Fail. They're writing it right now. It's probably gonna come out. I'm guessing October, November.
I'm gonna go with December 27th.
You think so? Okay.
Right at the very end.
It's going to miss our best albums of
the
year,
will.
Unfortunately.
We'll have to renew it.
Yeah, anything that you have to come out by the end of November for us to count you towards the top 10 albums of the year.
Let's not forget new Circa Survive coming soon.
Oh, yeah. That was like back in February. They said, our album's done.
They said it was done?
Yeah.
I thought they were just starting it at that time.
No, they started it like in December or January, and then February comes along. It's like, we're done. It's in the mixing process.
Well,
That's right. The new Circa Survive. You're right.
And maybe that Being as an Ocean album was so good that they wanted to wait till September.
Not ready for this.
Not ready for it.
They have to wait.
So
we
I'm
got
kind
that coming.
of interested.
Bring Me the Horizon, I'm sure, is going to come out this year. Because remember, That's the Spirit, we first heard about it the end of July, and it came out in September.
That was when the umbrellas started?
That's when the umbrellas started showing up.
I'm just saying that band is on a 3-year cycle at this point.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Next year will be the next album from them.
I'm inclined to believe you, but I have a bet that includes the new Bring Me the Horizon album.
I know.
So I have to follow it. So.
But they're not on tour anymore right now, right?
I don't believe so. I think the tour that we watched them on was the last tour that they're on.
Okay. Because, they had to kind of unplug the backing track and finally take a break.
Yeah, the auxiliary
Turn
cord
the lights
from
on.
their iPod. Worn out. Oh, sorry, mate, we can't go on tour anymore.
It's like, that was a good show, but it was just like, I'm done.
It's a visual...
Don't ever
it was
ask me to go to a show
visual
again.
treat. But
I guess.
I was very disappointed to find out that they were playing to a backing track.
I'm done with shows. Isn't that sad? Is that sad?
I think you're done with shows because you have a bet that includes you being done with shows.
That's not the only reason why. It's because anytime I think about going to a show, it fills me with just disgust and anger. Not like anxiety, like I don't want to be around people. It's just
well,
like...
Adam, you're going to miss when Thursday comes around here, touring with Bryce.
Yeah, right. You think they can come this side of the
They don't
East
have,
Coast?
I know their 98 Corolla can't make it all the way
I
to the
know.
West Coast.
All they can't go past like Philadelphia. I think that's the
Probably.
furthest west they can go.
Anything past Philadelphia, then Jeff Wrigley's just going to get robbed over and over again.
They just love doing that all those toll roads that go up and down the East Coast.
They don't have the spare change to pay the tour roads, so they only play in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. That's all they can do. So I don't know. Anybody else that we're expecting this year? Besides, hopefully, Brian Fallon.
Well, I got to
before the end of
see
the year?
my yearly 3 times census fail. I've seen them 0 times
That's
this
right.
year.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, if you're done with going with shows, I mean, I'm gonna miss you. But
Because I was thinking back to like even shows we went to in 2015 and whatnot. I was like, yeah, those really suck too.
I had a great time.
The
All
music
the
was
shows.
great, but I just hated
Dance
being there.
Gavin Dance 10-year anniversary show was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
That one was pretty good,
Yeah,
but that's okay.
they invited all the former members of the band to go on tour with them.
I was there.
Who does that?
And then we got to meet a high Johnny Craig.
Oh, he was so high. We have
So
evidence of it.
There's a picture of us of him with His Highness,
He was
His Royal Highness.
potholes on his face everywhere from how high he is.
Hey guys,
He wants to
you want
sniff this
an
mark.
autograph?
Anyway, guys.
Oh man, I'm so sick right now. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, let us know if you guys are big music fans and you guys have been following all the albums that's come out this year. Let us know what you think in
First half of
the
the
first
year.
half of this year, and if you feel like this year is an indication of what we're going to get, but the second half. It's unfortunate that we don't have a lot of favorites this year. There's a small handful, but it's not looking so
Very
good.
small. It's
Very
weird
small
that
handful.
I like albums in January and then June and nothing in
There you go,
between.
and
I don't
nothing
know-
in between.
I don't know how that happened. Or maybe I have to go back and listen to the entire list again.
Yeah.
Maybe I lost track.
Yeah, I can send you the list if you like. That way, if you can.
No, I got my own list on
Okay.
my computer at work,
Cute.
so I'm good to go on that.
So once again, guys, if you want to get in contact with us, you can contact us on Facebook at The Skinny with Mike and Adam, on Twitter as well as The Skinny Pod. You
Contact us on YouTube
You
at
can
the Skinny
contact
Official.
us on YouTube. You're right. Thank you, Adam.
There you
can
go.
also email us at theskinny.with@gmail.com. That's if you want to give us any feedback on this week's episode, or if you'd like to help us out on our upcoming episode 250 and send us a question. Send
think-
us a quement.
I think the questions they can be very personal in nature.
They can be.
I mean, if you ask for our social security number, we'll consider it, and we may not answer that one.
Sure.
But anything else,
We'll read it.
any other things that don't involve our identity being thieved, like we'll tell you. We got skeletons in
We
our
are
closet.
open books.
We have like so much man on man, boy on boy, like skeletons we haven't even talked about on the
Which
podcast.
is what we're going to do as soon as this episode is done. But thank you guys
Yes.
for checking out this week's episode.
So many boys
If you
waiting in
haven't
the
already,
wings.
please subscribe to us on iTunes. We're for you non-Apple users, we're also on Stitcher, so please download that app. And check out Adam's documentary on our YouTube page, Adversity AF, the Come On Guys story. It is a great documentary. It's hilarious. There's a lot of tomfoolery in it. Mike is cast like 3 times in it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about either. Those are legit personalities and real musicians that we are friends with.
Right.
Uh,
Mike
but,
is not a schizophrenic.
Tune in next week, guys, and we'll have another great episode for you guys. A really good episode, and because every single one of you guys are going to that town hall meeting, and going to be making that top 100 list. So I can't wait to hear
Yes,
what you
that's right.
guys think are the best albums of all time.
103 million people.
That's a lot of people.
They're all in India,
Yeah,
but
there's like 3 of them in the U.S.
exactly hovered around 14 computers
Yep.
in the slums of India, smells of fecal matter.
Yeah.
But that's all you smell when you listen to our podcast, right? So, yeah.
There's going to be one moderator. I'm pretty sure it's going to be our good friend Brandon.
Yes.
And he's going to let us know what the community thinks are the best albums of the year. So tune into that week's episode next week, and it's going to be a great one. And as we say every week on the Skinny with Mike and Adam, it's going to be about poo. It's going to be
when a car goes by, you better fart in the other direction.
It's always about poo.